Hey friends, welcome to lockdown day, whatever. I don't know. I think we started our official lockdown. It was midnight of Friday the 13th. Is that apt or what? So it's like a different day for you depending on where you are in the world. But I've been doing these afternoon, Life in Lockdown, singing for solidarity concerts since the 18th of March. So it took me a few days to kind of get organized. I actually don't think I'm organized yet, but I'm working on it. And each day I sing different songs, sometimes on a theme, sometimes my own, sometimes other musicians. Today I'm going to play a few of the factory songs that I wrote when I was a park ranger in Lowell from the oral histories of the last generation of people that work in the factories before they closed. I know that factories were a really important part of life and brought a lot of people from different countries for work in countries in the EU, in the UK, and there are a lot of people who are out of work right now who depend on factory jobs in different parts of the world. So I thought I would start with the rainy day song. It's kind of gray in Brussels. I'm feeling it. I worked 54 years, feels like a long time. 54 years working in the mill, saving for a rainy day. Hey, the money I earned, I put it in the bank when he was living. Wouldn't touch it, saving for a rainy day. Oh, now I don't believe in rainy days no more. No, I don't believe in rainy days no more. That's not what life is for. My husband, he got sick and I stayed on working. No money coming in, just my pay for a rainy day. Hey, it was a rainy day, all right, when he was sick for so long. Nothing left for a rainy day at all. Now I don't believe in rainy days no more. No, I don't believe in rainy days no more. That's not what life is for. That's not what life is for. There's so much more to live for. Hi, welcome. If you're anything like me, you have about 500 different windows opened up on your computer. I even have them, I'm married to a research librarian, full disclosure, I have them like organized. So I have like one row of windows that are all different articles that I plan on reading. Then I have a separate one that's all different sort of yoga and meditation theme. Then I have another one that's all different recipes that I found that might be fun to try during lockdown. I haven't done nearly as much yoga, meditation, cooking, etc. as my inner critic feels like I should have accomplished, especially during this time where I'm not really doing a whole lot of other stuff. But, inner critic be damned. So that was Rainy Day Song, and that was from the daughter of French Canadian immigrants to Lowell, Massachusetts. She worked in the factories in the 1900s for 54 years. Valentine Chartrand, I think was her name. And I mean, her story was really sad. She'd been saving and saving, so that this idea that once she and her husband retired, like then they could enjoy life. And then he got really sick and that used up all their savings. And I think she died sad and lonely. And that's not really the kind of energy that I want to communicate to you right now, or not my intention for myself or for you, but more the idea that, in the chorus, I kind of changed the message to be, that saving for rainy days, that's not what life is for. I mean, certainly save, and obviously right now with so much uncertainty, but also like in terms of just bringing joy into your life, like do it now, if not now, then when? So, and there were so many different perspectives from factory workers of, some of them were just like, yes, working in the factory was really hard, but it was also the factory was a second home. I mean, think about how much time you spend at your workplace. For me, my workplace is also my home place. So I spend a lot of time here, even when it's not during lockdown. So that's one song from the factories. I've got a lot of them, but I mean, they're okay. So some of them, now full disclosure, they're not all that happy. Like some of them are pretty happy. The song "4 Pennies" I played the other day. It's a pretty happy one. So maybe I'll play that one, because that's also, I think, about this idea. Where is it? If I could find it. Really well organized today. That's from the daughter of Italian immigrants, and it's this perspective that yes, working in the factories taught her to save, because her first week on the job they paid her 4 pennies, because you're paid by how much and the quality of what you produce, and if you produce a small amount that's crappy, you don't get paid a lot. But she really felt like it just gave her such a perspective on life, about like how lucky she was to have a job in the factory, and that all her family ended up getting jobs in the factories, and that her life really, it was hard, but it was good. The only way you could get a job was if you knew someone working in the factory. There was a family around the corner. I used to live in Tewksbury, and I went to work in the Lowell factory. That very family, they took care of me. Oh, it was a hard life, but a good life. Working in the factory hasn't hurt me. Got put on weaving that first week, got in trouble for poor quality. 4 pennies was all they gave me. My mom and dad, they looked at me. Is this all they asked me? 4 pennies. And I told them that's all they gave me. Oh, it was a hard life, but a good life. Working in the factory hasn't hurt me. Factory job taught me to save. Can't survive on 4 pennies with so many in my family. My life, it hasn't hurt me none. And everyone in my family, we're all working in the factory. Oh, it was a hard life, but a good life. Working in the factory was a hard life, but a good life. Working in the factory Working in the factory hasn't hurt me. 4 pennies. 4 pennies. I mean, my word. Sometimes I feel crummy about the little amount of financial success I have to show for all of my endeavors. I have lots of like what I call my karma career success, doing good things to lift people's spirits, open their hearts, giving a voice, to people who are in a place of limbo, music with asylum seekers in Brussels and and sharing the songs of people that I've met from around the world. I mean, to me, that's really important work. Giving each person a moment to an invitation, really, to share their experience and just to listen, even just listening. I mean, I think that's so important. But then there's something really, at least that I've experienced, that's really cathartic and self-validating about moving through the creative process, creating a song from your own story. It's just, I mean, your own story is so unique. You're so unique. And then having a song that's about you, I mean, that's a pretty cool thing. So I do feel good about the work that I do. I haven't quite figured out how, like when I get these emails from like American Air that's like bonus, buy X number of miles and you'll get this number more. And I want to be like, hey, can I trade in some of my karma points for miles? I mean, I know we're not traveling right now, but just for when we can, it could happen, right? Some kind of dystopia where it's real. So factory songs. We've got a few factory songs. I'm going to shift. I'll play some more for you another day. But I want to sing some migration songs also. I've been on this. Yesterday I did this theme of movement. And so I was thinking about this song that my co-volunteer, Sarah Reeder-Harris, she and I work together as volunteers to do poetry and songwriting at Refugee Center in Brussels. We wrote this song with an asylum seeker from Turkey, and it's called "We Are the Nomads." And we've written so many songs, and some of them are the meaning is really evident. This one is it's really like kind of abstract and philosophical, but this person he's a writer, and I mean, his father's in jail, for being probably for sharing his opinion. I'm not sure if he's a writer also, but he talked about the idea that the people in Turkey use war and protest to kind of maintain their autonomy. So the song is kind of about that, and it's called "We Are the Nomads." We are the nomads who stole our war. We are the nomads, you stole our war. We are free spirits, not bound by rules. We are the natives, you experiment with our souls. Our souls and our bodies are not yours to define. The beauty of war we've used to define. We go to war to protect who we are. But you stole our war machine and turned it against us. We are the nomads who stole our war. We are the nomads, you stole our war. Don't touch your face. So that's "We Are the Nomads." That's from Turkey. And it's an interesting one. I'm gonna have to look back. I actually I sent this person a message to ask him to tell me a little bit more about the meaning of the song, which he did. And it was all like, there was like philosophy behind it. I mean, this is like a really abstract thinker. So yeah, I'll have to revisit that and and tell you a little bit more about it another time. But it is in the book that we just published, which you can find. I have a link, in the description for these concerts on Facebook and on YouTube. I have a link to our GoFundMe site, which has a little video about the project that we've been working on these last few years together, and the books that we published with all the songs, and also our, just kind of written description and photos. And you can buy the books online, and you can also donate online at our GoFundMe site if you want to support the project to record these songs, which I'm hoping we were just like diving in to do this, and like you maybe also were just kind of getting momentum for work that you've been doing, and then suddenly, everything is just stops. And so there's a lot of uncertainty, and it's, for me, a good time to just think about these songs and everything that I can be grateful for, because I wake up grumpy a lot in the morning. So singing, yoga, social distance time with friends, those help me shift that energy from grouchy to grateful. I don't come to take, I come to live. Give me a chance to give. I ran away from more to feel human again. Give me a chance to live in Yemen. I lost my life there. My parent bodies were broken by bombs from the war. It's been 2 years away from my country. My mom and dad, they're waiting for me. Before the war, I was working to help my family. It was a hard life, but we were safe. If Belgium will give me a chance to live, I will give her everything. I don't come to take, I come to live. Give me a chance to give. I ran away from more to feel human again. Give me a chance to live. I spent a month and a half on the street in Spain. I saw the real face of refugees. The police there told me to go to hell. So I took a bus and crossed the border from Belgium to Belgium, from France. I saw a policeman and thought he'll tell me to go to hell. He took out his phone and waved to me. He said, "Welcome," and he showed me a place to stay. He saw the human being in me. I don't come to take, I come to live. Give me a chance to give. I ran away from more to feel human again. Give me a chance to live. Give me a chance to live. That's a song that we wrote with an 18-year-old from Yemen. He left Yemen when he was 16, 2 years ago. First went to Spain. Spain did not want him, so he came to Belgium. Then Belgium told him that that because Spain was the first point of entry, there's something called like Dublin accord or something where your first point of entry, that's where you have to apply for asylum. But Spain was like, no, we don't want him. Like they actually told Belgium, like, you keep him. This is like sweet 18-year-old, really brave, just so vibrant and full of life. He speaks like perfect English, which of course should not be a qualifier for whether or not you can live in safety. But but so here, just like the factory workers, I mean, here's a person in search of a better life, really brave, just, kind of willing to give up everything and also take on the support of his parents, so the roles have shifted at a really young age. I mean, a lot of people take care of their parents as their parents get older, but an 18-year-old, I mean, you're 18, it's not often what you're thinking about. So that's an important song. And I shortened it a little bit because my husband was like, this song's really intense. I know I've played some more intense songs today. I guess maybe I'm just feeling it because of the grayness and, it's kind of like, not really very bright outside. And so it's like that kind of hunkering down and getting into kind of like mood. But it's a song that I think is really meaningful. And also, even though it is so intense, it's just so hopeful. I mean, he's just so amazed at just the incredible support and care that he received when he came to Belgium, because literally he was homeless and was, yelled at by the police in Spain. And then here in Belgium, he's like, you've given me everything. And if you'll just give me a chance to live here, I promise I will give back everything that I can, which is, I think, a really important message, especially in these times where a lot of people we're experiencing fear, right? And we're like, I need to like protect myself and get all the toilet paper so that I can have it for my family. But it's also a time when maybe we can also share and like only buy half of the toilet paper so that other people can have some too. I mean, come on. Or think about like probably 2/3 of the world that doesn't even use toilet paper, and can we make do without it? Oh, that's a really bad one. Wow, I'm just on a roll today. So, Sarah, thank you. Sarah's tuned in. My dad's tuned in. It's a rainy day in Boston, so the rainy day song was appropriate. I'm going to play. This is a mill song, a factory song I wrote that's in the major key, so it feels happier. But it's also about this idea of just kind of thinking about all those people who work in the factories to bring us all the things that we need. And I think right now there are a lot of people behind the scenes that we can think about, open our hearts to, and just kind of send some waves of gratitude. People working in like our local grocery store who have been working in pretty difficult conditions. People, in the medical world. Yeah, people trying to provide for their families and, who are feeling uncertainty. Just keep our hearts open. This is called "I Was a Mill Worker." I was, but as a park ranger, it's really cush experience in comparison. People who never seen a mill, well, they don't know what it's like. They just wear the clothes, don't ever think about how a man works hard to make those clothes. I was nervous, learning a new job, and I was so very young. But my father was the only one working, and I had to help him. So I left school, and I was a mill worker all my life. I worked hard for every penny I earned, every penny, all my life. You work piecework, you gotta keep that thing going. Don't ever slow it down, 'cause the minute it stops, you're losing money, and that's gonna hurt everyone. The mill was like a second home for decades of my life, like walking from the living room to the dining room. And then everything was sold for parts, and I was a mill worker all my life. I worked hard for every penny I earned. I worked hard for every penny I earned. And I was a mill worker all my life, and I worked hard for every penny I earned, every penny all my life. I was a mill worker. And then there's the idea that even within all this uncertainty, that everything will pass, right? Because I mean, everything is transient. So there's only this moment, and then this moment, and then this moment. And so if we just focus on this moment, which is hard to do because I think, like, I don't know, and like all those people who study the brain and, you know, and how the brain works, so it's like we're always either worrying about the past or the future, the past and the future. And so being very present is really challenging. It's one reason that I like to practice yoga, because it helps me to just kind of like send all those other voices that are worried about the past and the future, and how I messed up in the past, how I'm going to mess up in the future, or whatever, how I was better in the past, or it'll be better in the future. Just like send them away for a little while, you know. And I mean, especially in a standing balancing pose, you have to focus so much on just not falling down. You really can't think about anything else. And music and, you know, the creative arts can be that way also. If you just, it can take a little while to get into it, but then if you have something that you're kind of focused on, some creative project, can be gardening, it can be cooking, it can be singing, it can be drawing, you know, whatever it is. If you really cultivate that practice, you can get into a space where everything's okay in this present moment. And we wrote this song on this idea that, you know, if we just hope, everything will pass and everything will be okay. You know, if we're just trying to be happy and keep hope alive. And so we wrote it with an asylum seeker from Tigran, or Eritrea. So there's music. Wow, I'm just like I can't do two things at once today. My brain is just like all over the place. Maybe you're feeling that too. It's just hard to concentrate. Anyway, there's lyrics in Tigrinya and in English and French. All will pass, but love will stay. Only we hope, if only we hope. In the dream of life, everything will come true. Only we hope, if only we hope. Hallelujah, liv, för krigen i tarif. Anei yiwet kulu gadi EU. Test for dry, test for dry. All will pass, but love will stay. Only we hope, if only we hope. In the dream of life, everything will come true. Only we hope, if only we hope. And om sans c'est comme une fleur sans odeur. Ma souffrance corrige mieux que le conseil. Il vous aime vous-même et Dieu vous aime aussi. All will pass, but love will stay. Only we hope, if only we hope. In the dream of life, everything will come true. Only we hope, if only we hope. Only we hope, if only we hope. Voila. So the Tigran, translates into all will pass, but love will stay into that chorus. And then the French portion, un homme sans amis, c'est comme une fleur sans odeur. A man without friends is like a flower without a scent. La souffrance corrige mieux que le conseil. Suffering is a better teacher than advice from someone else. So like real life experience. Il vous aime, vous-même, they love you. Just you, heart. And God loves you also. And Dieu vous aime aussi. Et Dieu vous aime aussi. So that's a song from Eritrea to keep your heart and your hope alive for another day until we meet again tomorrow. And I'll sing some more tunes for you. I know that these concerts, this 30 minutes, just can take me a few minutes to just kind of shift into feeling present, feeling my heart open. Like lift, expand, and you always feel better after. And it's, inevitably, because I'm human, that like gray is going to get to me again. I'm going to start to get grouchy. I'm going to notice, all the little things. But at least for this moment, the practice of singing has worked magic again. And just have seen you there and being able to share this moment with you. I hope that you're able to share moments with loved ones, friends and family, even if it's not in person, if it's from a distance. It's a good time to reach out and, connect with people, reconnect with people, and, cultivate some joy. So thank you for helping me cultivate joy and for your love. Kisses and love from a safe social distance in Brussels. I will see you again soon.